1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
All right, everybody, let's kick off a Wednesday where we've moved on from the victory over the Texans, although you can have victory Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for all I care. But let's talk much more about this 49ers team. I was doing the research as far as the all-time record. The Jaguars are 2-5 against San Francisco all-time. The first two games against the 49ers, the Jaguars won back in 1999 and in 2005.
That was the first game of the year in 99.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
And then
we killed them 41-3 or something.
That is correct, 41-3. And then the Jaguars have not won since the year 2005. So that means, that means that James Gladstone was 14 years old the last time the Jaguars beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
Ouch. I know I saw hackers post to another number you don't want to see, but they're 1-11 in true road games in their last 12 games.
Because we can't count London.
London games, and that's also a number you don't want to link, but you could break two of those bad streaks in one weekend.
It always seemed like the West Coast travels weren't always profitable for us Jaguars. At least
since the Jaguars have started playing in London, and everyone says, well, they have a strategic advantage in London, shouldn't they be able to figure out just going to the West Coast?
You would think.
Out loud?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, even back to '96 when we played Oakland, in the old Coliseum. We were close, but they ended up beating us. I think it was our first one. Then we just, San Fran the next year we're out there. We could have beat them out there. I think part of it is you go one way, ahead and the other way's behind. Do you go out Friday? Do you go out Saturday? They try to figure that out.
Saturday.
Are they going Saturday? Yep. Yeah. I think that's the best way to go because that extra night I don't think you get used to the time zone in 2 days anyway. So just go and play. Like, let's just get out there and, fall asleep, take a nap, wake up, and later on we'll play a little game of football. But it's, that's one thing, we mentioned about, those kind of games is the travel. It does take its toll on you.
For sure.
You got to, make sure that you're treating the body right. But look, this team should feel pretty good about itself. It's 2-1. We could all sit here and say legitimately could have been 3-0. I know San Fran's hurting, but they're going to give them a hell of a game. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. 49er crowd's pretty lively, so.
Yeah, they're hurting and they're 3-0. They're probably like, oh, heck yeah, we haven't lost a game and we're very beat up right now.
Absolutely. And then McCaffrey saved the day last week. I watched the end of that one like I know a lot of us did. But, listen, they'll have their hands full, but it should be a good battle. I have San Fran in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I have San Fran in the Super Bowl. Granted, I didn't think of all the injuries, but whatever. I think they're still a formidable team, obviously, what they've done so far. And a good coach, a good organization. John Lynch, he knows what he's doing.
Very stable.
Stable. It's a great word.
Outside of drafting Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Really outside of that. And they were really thinking about drafting Mac Jones with that selection.
Right.
And they pivoted away from that, ended up with Trey Lance. And then, obviously, as we all know, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in all of the draft, is Brock Purdy. And they awarded him with a new contract this past year.
Yeah.
Most teams, if you get the quarterback wrong, they're set back for several years.
Yeah.
But not San Francisco, because I do think the organization overall is something that most teams would aspire to be. And that is, you find players that are incredibly talented that nobody else has players like them, right? Like the Swiss Army knife that is Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of players like him. Brandon Ayuk, when he's healthy. There's not a lot of players like him. When Debo Samuel, when he was,
Although he looks good so far this year, but.
Sure. Like they just have guys defensively, they have studs, right? Like especially those backers. Yeah. So I think they've been able to just draft so well and certainly develop their guys.
I think they build from the inside out too. They have that foundation, their O-line, their D-line. I mean, you think about it, like they've never been really a finesse team. You think California, you think, up in the sky, hippies and stuff and playing ball like that. But no, they're very physical. I remember, listen, it was alumni weekend when they came here and drubbed us a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2023, 34-3.
We were on the field and our team had just come out and we were all excited. They were all excited. They're jumping around and look over to the left and in the tunnel is Trent Williams and the whole team. And they look like they're like hairs on fire and they're ready for a fist fight. And I forget what I was like, oh, that looks different than happy-go-lucky over here jumping out to all the hoopla and all this stuff. And they're here to, man, and you saw the difference. I mean, you saw that. So
Eric Armstead was on that team.
He
by the
was,
way.
absolutely.
Had a half a sack that day.
Absolutely. And you saw that mindset. I know that's what they're building here, right? They want that. And like we said with Bees, like the best thing you can do on the road, the best thing you can do is be physical, to be out. That's how you got a shot when you're on the road. If you can out-physical your opponent, you'll have a good chance of winning that ball game.
Yeah, I think when you talk about a team that's good at complementing each other on each side of the ball, the Niners have been one of those because they've been in those situations where even when they've lost their best players, when Christian McCaffrey misses pretty much the entire year, when everybody last year was hurt, Ayuk was hurt, Debo was hurt, everybody, and you're still able to get something done offensively, and a lot of that is because the defense stepped up in a lot of big moments and we were able to help them. And then now in games like last week when Bosa's out and they have other guys getting banged up on the defensive side of the ball, guys like Christian McCaffrey and Ricky Pearsall step up on the offensive side of the ball, and Mac Jones, a backup quarterback. And so they just play such complementary football of when one side isn't playing to the highest level that you're expecting, the other side can step up. And I think a lot of that is coaching too. We talk a ton about Kyle Shanahan and how he can build things around his offenses no matter who's playing quarterback. And aside from Trey Lance, I guess, because that was just the one issue, which they also traded up to draft him. So that's a crazy thing too. But outside of that, it's always felt like you put Jimmy Garoppolo in, you put Mac Jones in, you put Brock Purdy in, and they can feel like they still can get something done offensively. And that's a type of organization that you look up to.
Yeah, it's his scheme for sure. Shanahan, obviously, his dad being a head coach in the NFL has helped him for sure. I think also, Tom, what's to watch for in this game to me is going to be that pressure. The Jaguars have gotten a lot of pressure. We talked about it with Hayes yesterday. As far as they haven't necessarily gotten the high number of sacks to translate from that pressure, but the pressure has turned into a lot of those takeaways, right? Or it certainly has helped with those. So can they get pressured to Mac Jones or Brock Purdy, depending on who's starting? Both of those guys are kind of on one leg, so to speak.
Yeah.
Mac Jones
they get
has
around
the
Trent
PCL,
Williams.
right, the sprained PCL, and then Brock Purdy dealing with a turf toe, not nearly as bad, certainly as Joe Burrow's, but he is dealing with a turf toe injury. And so to me, pressure is going to be incredibly important, speaking of the trenches.
Yeah, and the O-line, their O-line has only given up 5 sacks so far, so they've done a really good job, kind of similar to what
they've drafted 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, you want to watch, I don't care who he goes against, watch Trent Williams go against either one of our guys. That's going to be really interesting to see. You know, I want to see Josh Hines. I mean, he had a monster game again. And you're right, the pressure. I mean, think about the last play. That wasn't a sack, but he hit the ball, so that's a pressure. That's when pressures matter, when they affect a play like that. And that sure did. But that's going to be a good one-on-one. Their right tackle, McGlinchey, he's pretty, I think he's a Notre Dame guy. He's pretty violent guy. He gets after it pretty good. So I think overall they've shown, now they're not running the ball great, it doesn't look like. I think they're averaging like 3.7 maybe yards a carry, which is low, you know, considering when you got McCaffrey. I know he's had, you know, stuff that he's working through injury-wise, you know, from last year, I'm sure, into this year, lingering and that kind of thing. But he's still explosive. They really good on third down on defense, like 33%. So they're only giving up 16 points a game. They're only scoring like 19 points a game. So the
good
defense,
in pass yardage, but not necessarily high scoring. By the way, McGlinchey plays for the Broncos, but Colton McKivitz.
McKivitz, okay, sorry, had the mix wrong, but
you're good. You'll learn it by the time Sunday rolls around.
Absolutely, no doubt.
And they probably have the best fullback in the league that they use in the moments.
They might have the only fullback in the league.
There's a couple out there, but definitely one of the probably only ones you talk about on a normal basis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, absolutely. Juszczyk, I think Strange could be a lot like Juszczyk, and Strange is even more physical than Juszczyk, although Juszczyk's not afraid to get up there and try to block you and knock you down and that kind of thing. But Strange is a different kind of violent in my book. But yeah, he's been a really good player for them. He's like Mr. Reliable. You know, if you need something, he can help you out. Obviously, they got to deal with, you know, some of their star players still being injured. So, yeah, next man up, you know, but that's their mentality. I think they're built for it. You know, look, they bring in Mac. You know, he held the fort down for a couple games. He wasn't brilliant.
As a backup quarterback.
I mean, wouldn't you take that all day long?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question.
And you have to wonder if things were better here last year, would he have done better as far as a record is concerned, if the offensive scheme was better and things like that. Speaking of offensive weapons, Liam Coen said no update for De'Ami Brown at this point in time. We'll find out when the injury report comes out later. I hope that it's not anything serious, but I would be, at this point, I'd be a little surprised since I know he wasn't at practice today at all. I'd be a little surprised if he plays on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound too good. If you're not saying anything about it at all. Hopefully it's not too long term.
Yeah.
But he came down. Listen, it was a great hit, I thought, and he came down right on that shoulder. And only a few things can happen when that happens, right? You break the collarbone, you tear your labrum and your rotator, or you have an AC joint sprain, right? I think that's basically what can happen.
Shoulder?
Yeah, maybe. It didn't seem like they would have held it up, as they're walking it out. They would have held something up if it was, I would think.
Is that what Worthy had, was the dislocated shoulder?
That Jaden Reed had the broken collarbone.
Yeah.
Worthy, I think, did have a dislocated
Because I felt like they just said they popped it back right after that. But
and they were like, he might play this week. And we were thinking, hold on. What in the world?
Mel Gibson does it all the time with the weapon. Just whacks it against something hard.
Oh, yeah.
It goes right back into place.
Pop it right back in.
The Diami situation, especially the way that Liam Coen said it. Like, he's one of those guys, he's very blunt, obviously, and Liam Coen has been very honest in almost everything that he's said to us. He's also kind of easy to read also when in the way that he responds sometimes. And that one didn't seem too good. It was a long pause. It was kind of, you didn't really know how to answer it. And to me, that does make it feel like there's going to be some time missed.
Yeah. If it was season ending, though, I think we would have
known
found that out today.
They just don't know how long is what I'm
I think Liam Coen on probably Monday even would have been able to tell us if they knew for sure it was season ending. Yeah, we'll see.
And as a coach, you feel terrible. Not only is he out of your offense, you feel bad for him. You're like, oh man, he's having such, he's doing so good. We like him.
He worked so hard.
Fits good.
The chemistry with Trevor. It certainly is, and that's when right after that we saw Trevor Lawrence kind of go up to CJ Gardner-Johnson and talk a little trash. And I think for some people it was like, finally, we're able to see this kind of stuff. All right, let's keep the Jaguars conversation going. Greg Olsen had an interesting comment on Pardon My Take about the dropsies that are going on, not just here, but around the league. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL on 82.5 FM.
What does Johnny O know best? O knows Jacksonville football.
Okay, say, oh my.
Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
The drip from a leaky faucet isn't just annoying, it's wasteful. Worn parts or corrosion could waste thousands of gallons a year. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline will fix it fast. When your faucet's leaking, make the superior choice. Learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Lauren Brooks here for my friends at Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents, and they will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. So don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule your free inspection online. It's so easy. Visit TERMINIX.com.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you.
Hey, fellow Floridians, it's Ben.
And Brianna Smith. We are foodies who love sharing recipes online.
And trying new cooking techniques on our new natural gas stove.
He loves his precise temperature control on the heat.
Yeah, I also love saving money and using less energy.
Oh, watch that flame.
So, who loves to be in control?
Now earn up to a $300 cashback rebate for installing a new energy-efficient natural gas range or stovetop. To learn more, go to peoplesgas.com/rebates.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Get ready, poker players. The World Poker Tour is coming back to Best Bet Jacksonville from October 30th through November 18th. It's your chance to become a World Poker Tour champion with 14 different poker tournaments to play, including the Best Bet Scramble, a $5,000 no-limit hold'em main event with a $1 million guarantee. Satellites and mega satellites are going on now at Best Bet Jacksonville. For the full WPT schedule and more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
I love Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. However, certain Tom Petty songs, well, actually, it's just one, Won't Back Down, is breaking my heart these days because my Gator boys are constantly backing down.
That's a cool thing, though, when you guys do that over there. I've seen it live. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, when I went to the South Florida game, that was my first time seeing it in person in Gainesville.
It's like Florida Gators and the Heartbreakers.
I know. That's exactly what it is. They're breaking my heart.
That's a good one.
And there's a Stevie Nicks, Tom Petty duet, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. That also applies.
That's right. No
this
doubt.
team right now. All right, Greg Olson joined Pardon My Take. He was asked about why it seems like drops are happening all over the league.
Yeah, I mean, there's times, and again, I always feel for these guys because I always put myself in their shoes. Like, it's so easy, especially as a commentator, or like, it's so easy to be like, it's not that hard. Catch the ball. Don't fumble. Like, I've been there, and there was some games, thankfully I didn't have a ton of issues with drops in my career, but I'll be honest, there were games where going into the game based on what happened in practice or just a million factors where you went into the game and you're like, I'm not seeing it great. Like, I'm just not tracking it great, and I'm not feeling it. I don't see it, and like, you're like, hope I don't have a bunch of drops. Like, it is a real mental battle. And then there's other games where you're feeling so comfortable, you could throw the ball behind your head and you knew you were going to catch it. Like, that's real. And I think any player, especially if you've played for a long time, goes through those ups and downs of like that internal mental battle of your confidence. And catching is the yips, fumbling is the yips. Quarterbacks who are gun shy because they've thrown a lot of interceptions, like all of a sudden that ball's just a little bit later and they turn down windows and they don't want to push the ball and it turns into check down Charlie. They're taking sacks. Like, that's all mental.
Yeah. I love hearing from a former player like that. You know, he was a fantastic player, does a great job as an analyst, too. And
he's got bumped for Tom Brady for crying.
Yeah, he's so good, too.
Yeah, he's really way better than Tom, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, look, it's real, you know, and so I know it's easy for anybody to, you know, from the outside just say, man, catch the ball. But you don't know exactly what that's like, you know, at that velocity level, where it's at, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, easier said than done when you're yelling. But, hey, you're allowed to yell. They are supposed to catch the ball, right? I mean, that's for sure. So
you
that's
paid a lot of money to catch the ball.
And you paid money for that seat for them to catch the damn ball. So you're absolutely allowed to do whatever you want. But it is real. And, look, sometimes it must come in funny. You know, I remember Mitch would tell me lefty or righty, because when he got here with Brunell, because he threw lefty, it dipped or dove a little bit different. He's like, he dropped his first 5. Ever tell you this story? So we trade for Mitch first, training camp, or right after training camp was over. We were back in Jacksonville. Regular season started, and he got drafted by Miami in '95. So Coughlin traded for him. So guys were like, well, should we expect? I'm like, oh, this guy's unbelievable. He's 2-time All-American, catches everything, like gets open. Okay, I'm so excited he's going to be on our team. This is going to be great. First practice out, he drops the first 5 passes. So I'm yelling at him. I'm like, Mitch, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. Like, it was just funny, but he was because we were roommates too. We were pretty tight. And then he was telling me, so you know what? It comes in and it dives down a little different. I got to get used to how that happens. So there must be something to lefty or righty, but how it comes in, like I guess for a, you golfers out there, when you're in the zone, your swing's perfect, and then when it's not, and you can't get it back for some reason, or you're at the plate, you're a baseball player out there, some days you see that ball right off the fingertips. Some days you're like, man, it's past me and I can't even pick it up. It's just, you got to correct it though, obviously. I think, look, and it's part of my whole thing today, my takeaway, but it's somewhere in the middle. It's part quarterback, it's part receiver. It's got to be put in the best spot, and you got to catch a rock. And there's going to be times where it's not going to be perfect from the throw. It's just got to be in your general vicinity. Sometimes he gets pressure, he's got to throw it early. Whatever the case may be, maybe he's off, but you got to come down with the football. I mean, that's the job. They all know it. I'm preaching to the choir to the players,
Right.
But you got to come down with it. That is the responsibility.
And I wonder, because he used that word, and he's not the only one who has said it, the mental side of it, and that's anytime you hit a slump or whatever the case may be. If you have the yips is the word he also used in that. But it's interesting because is that mental side when it comes to Brian Thomas Jr., the frustration of them not being on the same page, and has that kind of led into some of maybe the yips for him, because he does feel like, okay, the connection's not quite as strong as we'd want it to be at this point in time. And so is that mentally affecting some of the things that Brian Thomas Jr. is doing? Because we've showed all the numbers, and I was looking today too. It's like a little over 50% completion percentage to Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr., but almost 80% to everybody else. So it's just something between that is not working right now. And that could change. We could hit this weekend and we see these drops, kind of them get more comfortable, and you get out of that mental block or whatever it is. Whatever's causing it, I don't know. I can't tell you what is causing what is happening between the two of them, but something is there, because it just doesn't feel like they're ever quite on the exact same page.
And why was Diami able to come in from a completely different location, obviously, and up there playing for the Commanders?
Yep.
And he and Trevor right away through OTAs. Like, why was it that they had that easy chemistry? Because this is the same quarterback throwing the football.
Yeah.
And so if the placement is off, well, Diami obviously didn't struggle. And yes, he did have the one drop against the Bengals that ended up being huge. But all right, without further ado, time now for Tom's takeaways.
Now,
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway for today is the truth down here on earth is somewhere in the middle. And that's for sure when it comes to quarterbacks and wide receivers. Where that ball is placed, when, what time, and the receiver running the right route on time. A lot of talk about this. You heard Greg Olsen, you heard Jimmy Smith on Twitter and X, saying, look, they got to get out of their stance quicker. They got to get into the routes quicker. So he's absolutely right. There's no doubt about it. And then the quarterback's got to deliver it a little bit quicker. We've seen that timing be off. I've always said with Trevor Lawrence, I think down the middle is his best throws. In between the numbers are his best throws, short, intermediate, and deep. He's very good on that dig route. Brian Thomas Jr. or whoever, he throws that over the middle dig or that crossing route pretty right on point for the most part. It seems the outside throws, even deep, are the ones that he's a little bit off on, or too far or too high, or whatever the case may be. Even that still, with that being said, because I know a lot of people, they defend Trev, they don't, people are against for whatever. It's somewhere in the middle, and it's Liam Cohen's job and the quarterback coach and the OC to make sure we bring that together and bring that middle closer together. Because I'm telling you, like I said yesterday, if they get going and start hitting more than not, this is going to be a dangerous offense, especially if the running game gets going. So remember out there, whether it's on the field or off, the truth here on earth is somewhere in the middle, and that's brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
I think it's well said, and I think that applies to way more than just football. Life in general.
No doubt.
There's always gray areas. It's not one way or the other. But I think talking specifically about Trevor Lawrence and this offense, it feels like they had this install, everybody thought it was going well, and they must have missed something, right? Like there had to be something, whether it was in training camp or maybe a little bit before that. It feels like they were missing like a page out of the play, not just the playbook, but the whole install. And like it feels like they got A through Z on every page except this one page, and that's that one page that was missing. That's what's leading to all this, the illegal shifts, obviously, and then all this timing issue too. Like it feels like they are missing just one page out of that
like
install.
when you finish your IKEA furniture and there's the screw left, and you're like, oh God.
I hide that one.
No,
I throw that one in
where
garbage.
this is supposed to go. And Liam Coen, obviously, he broke down
those extra screws in case we
I'm
ever
like,
need
well,
it.
this will be hopefully this.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly.
Hopefully this holds up. Okay.
Yeah. You need to work
little,
for me,
shake it a little. Yeah. But Liam Cohen's talked on it today, and he broke down. He said he can't quite put a finger on what is happening with the drops either. And he said, they're doing they're cross-eyed. They're doing everything they possibly can to teach the technique and all of those things. And he had a really good explanation of all of that today. But so he's even looking at this saying, it's to your point, Tommy, it's in the middle, because there's not one thing where he's like, okay, this person is doing this every time and this is why the ball's not being caught. Right. It's multiple things happening, and it's all unfortunately, this is year 5, almost like year 4 and into year 5 of this happening with Trevor with the drops. And that's what I hope that Liam is focusing on going past. It's not just this year where these drops were a problem. Let's go back to where the source of everything. Why has this been a problem with Trevor Lawrence from the beginning? And then I think from there you can really start to hone in on where these issues start and how you finish them.
Well, listen, the simple thing is if it hits you in both hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. That means your hands are open and you're trying to. Now, you may look away, but that's no excuse. Like if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch it. The one-handed, it's really high. You got to make, like, again, I'll go back to the Stingley where he knocks the ball out. If he throws it earlier out in front of him, it might be 6 points. Stingley may have caught up. I don't know. It depends. But Brian Thomas had to slow down, jump, and go for that football. So that's a timing issue. They didn't call that play for, let's do a jump ball down the field at this point in the game. You know what I mean? They're like, let's go deep. We got him one-on-one. Now give it to him, right?
Yeah, you're only going to do the jump ball if it's in the end zone.
In the end zone or Hail Mary, whatever, it may be that kind of thing. So, those are just timing things. That's not that he doesn't have he's got plenty of the arm. But if he throws it late and it hangs up, then, you got to stop. The DB's got a chance to make a play on the ball, throw it out in front. Right, it's not so great timing on the dig to Brian Thomas for the 46 yards.
Yeah.
That was perfect timing, right? And again, that dig route, that cross right over the middle, hit him right in stride. He didn't have to stop. He didn't have to move his hands on his back hip. It was right there, right where it needed to be. And what was he able to do? Go right up the field and make a play. So and look, some of the completions, even though they're completions, he doesn't always put it in that right spot where they can go do that. Like just put it in the right spot and boom, off I go, after, and I can have. He does sometimes. Right. It's not. Listen, again, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Sure. It's not all the time. It's not none of the time, but sometimes he does that. So if they clean that kind of stuff up with the running game, then we're going to be talking about something. Yeah.
So we talked about this on the defensive side of the ball, how Foye Oluokun wasn't able to play as fast and free like he normally is because he was constantly lining other people up, including Devin Lloyd, but other players as well. On the offensive side this year, it looks like Trevor is constantly having to tell some of the guys when they're in motion, do this, do that, no, go here. And I wonder, is that, and this is not an excuse, I'm just wondering, is that throwing off some of the timing of things? Because instead of him being able to just get to the line, get the play call in, and then go, he's then having to move people.
Yeah, that happened like maybe 3 times. I know Travis, we had to call the timeout. Yeah. Travis didn't know if he was supposed to go or not. There were a couple others, I think, where he was like, come on, you come, and they didn't come.
Right, and when I watch other offenses in the NFL, I don't see the quarterback having to move people.
That's not enough to where you think that would affect the
I'm
timing.
grasping at straws to try and figure out, and I hope that's what they're doing,
listen,
too.
It's going to, I know, no pun intended, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
It's just more repetition, more doing it in practice after practice, doing it in games. That's one thing about, like, again, you go back to last week, they put all that bad stuff behind them. until that drive, and then it was all good stuff. So that says something
flush
about
out those
them.
first,
the first
second,
half,
third
honestly.
quarter, really,
The first half was awful.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to it, which we talked about this all off season, when it comes to the playbook, and it's a new scheme in general that you're already trying to figure out. Your foot mechanics all your coaches decided to wait until year 5 in the NFL to try and figure something out with that. So you're also working on that. You also have a ton of new weapons, and we've talked a ton about, they all mentioned how intricate Liam Coen's playbook is and how it's one of the more difficult, or if not the most difficult playbook they've ever had to learn. And Tommy, you've said it before, when Trevor, somebody's playbook is this big and Trevor Lawrence's is even bigger than that. And then Travis Hunter's learning 2 of them. And that was where some of my concerns came in back in OTAs. How are they going to do that? Not defensively. I felt like we always said, okay, he's a natural corner. He can do that. But offensively, are some of those errors going to come in and affect certain moments early on? And that we're seeing that too. We're seeing them have to call timeouts to try and tell Travis where to go. And so I do think, though, those things can get ironed out during time. And that's the positive, because it is just getting more comfortable in the playbook and Liam Coen's scheme. But right now you're 2-1. So you have to look at it and say, you're 2-1. You have a winning record. There's 2 teams in the division that haven't won a football game. And so just move on and keep going from there. But you just have to hope that some of the drops get better, and just some of the things that seem discombobulated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, it's week 3. Well, now week 4. So the good news is they've won 2 games where this looked pretty much the same. I think it was a little better against Cincinnati, but it looked pretty much the same as far as the really slow, methodical type of stuff. Although if they want to run the football and it be methodical that way, then certainly that's fine. But again, that goes back to what the Texans personnel was doing. All right, Liam Coen did talk about drops. We'll let you hear that cut on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Hey, when it comes to glass, you don't want average, you want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to these Florida storms, all backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. And there's only one name for glass and mirror on these parts, and it's Duval.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
In a world where chains seem to take over, it's awesome to have a locally owned retailer who's only focused on Jacksonville. Beers Diamond's perfect example. Hinkin here.
You know all those other jewelers in the town center are owned by big Wall Street companies, but Beards Diamonds, they're local, man. They've been serving our area for over 40 years. Say hi to the Lupos when you go in there. The money you spend at Beards, it stays right here, and they run circles around the big chains. Massive diamond inventory, Beards. All the top bridal brands like Decory and Viraggio, Beards. The strongest warranties, and if you ever had an issue, you deal directly with the owner, Beards. Beards wins on price every day. They don't have extra markups to please Wall Street or pay commission salespeople. In fact, Beards guarantees to beat any national chain store on price. Don't buy anywhere until you get a second opinion at Beards. I'm sure you'll get a bigger, better quality diamond for your money, and it'll be backed by local folks with integrity and local accountability. Don't buy a diamond in Jacksonville without seeing your best option at Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Taylor Dahl just referenced Liam Coen's comment about the drops and whether or not he's been able to figure those out yet. Here is the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today when he was asked that question.
No, not quite. I think one thing I mentioned the other day was just we've got to attack the ball more, I think, with our hands instead of letting it maybe get into the body at times. We always talk about not trying to let the ball cross our eyes. So if it's an in-breaker or even an out-breaker, trying not to let it cross you this way at all. There's a difference between the ball being, here and going and getting it there. That's just kind of the way that's how we're trying to coach it. And every rep in walkthrough that we have when we're not throwing the football, those guys have been getting all last week a catch. So they're jogging back from a run play and they're getting a ball. So we're trying to do as much as we can in order to just confidence, just continuing to build confidence that we can go out and make those plays. We need to go out and make those plays for our offense to be able to go and go where it needs to go.
By the way, we haven't seen the coaches scream at the players for dropping it. At least I haven't, whether watching on TV or watching from the press box. And so that's another thing where if you're the quarterback and you don't put the ball exactly where the coach wants and he yells at you, you also want to be like, all right,
for dropping it.
Yeah, can you get after them? But yeah, and I did, by the way, go back and listen in to see if I could hear Trevor, what you were talking about, Tom, as far as be like, we're good when he's on the line.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could hear it multiple times. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I was like, is that the normal terminology?
I heard it Monday night, I think. Who was playing Monday night again?
This past Monday night, we saw the...
See, look at that.
Yeah, I watched...
That was the Ravens.
Yeah, Goff was doing it.
I tried to forget because we all picked the Ravens and we got it wrong.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Goff was doing it too. I feel like that's new. I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, it's like Omaha, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
We're good.
We're good.
But we're good.
We're good. Hey, you okay back there? Yeah, we're good. Let's go.
You got this pass rusher? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, right,
Let's go ahead. Yeah,
it
very
is
interesting.
Almost exactly what you were saying yesterday, Tommy, and what you acted out in the don't let your eyes cross, but also get your hands out and go after the ball rather than just letting it come in and hit you.
Yep.
I think that we saw that when Liam Coen kind of corrected Trevor of hit him in the chest. And I think more so maybe just saying don't throw it above his head or down at his feet, but keep it central. But the receivers have to do their part too. And that's coming in after the catch, not expecting it to, because if that's when the issues happen. That's when we're seeing some of the turnovers. That's when we're seeing it bounce off of them. That's when we're seeing that speed of Trevor's ball. If we're talking about that, and Beasley was talking about it a little bit yesterday, that's when the ones that get popped up happen, because if it's hitting you in the chest and it's coming out at the velocity mobility that Trevor's do, that's where the error comes in. But if you're meeting him and you're getting your hands out in front of you and you're catching the ball, you're doing your part and Trevor's doing his.
You've seen it during camp practices, and they look kind of weird. It's during warm-ups. The receivers will run their route like a curl, and when they turn, they put their hands out, and you're like, that looks really weird, but you know what they're doing because they want them to catch it there or at least guide that ball in and then bring it in. Don't let it, what he's saying is don't let it get to your body.
Yeah.
And when he was saying with, hit him here, he meant don't throw it high. Like,
yeah.
just put it on him, and then he'll bring it in like that. But it is. You got it. It seems strange like you would attack a football as a receiver. But that's exactly what you have. That's why they say grab with your hands. Because a lot of times, look, I don't care what level either, it'll bounce off your shoulder pads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you try to catch it no one on radio can see this. You guys can. But,
YouTube stream.
If you try to, you see those catch. You catch it where your hands are right next to your body.
Yeah.
And sometimes they, like you said, they bounce off and they go into the other team's arms. But if you go out there with your hands and bring it in to you, but you do, listen, that ball is big and fat. You got to grab that son of a gun. You do. You got to attack it. That's what he's saying. Like, go grab that thing. If it's in the vicinity, go grab it, right? So.
Yeah, I think the interesting part is all last week the conversation was around these hospital balls, right? Like that was the major focus. Trevor throws, way too many passes into traffic and he's going to get his receivers killed or tight ends killed or running backs killed. And then this week, I feel like a lot of the drops had nothing to do with the traffic surrounding them.
I think the one to Parker, and I commend Trevor for this. He didn't throw him into traffic. It was a crosser or a down and in or whatever. It was an inside route, and he put it on him, and he did have to stop. That's when it hit him in the hands. But he is protecting him in that. So I would say the one up in Cincinnati, the one to Brian Town, that was not where he should have put the ball. But for to me, maybe he's learning, maybe I do got to put it more on him if I could see those guys. Like, it's zone. Like, they're going to kill him. So I got to give him a chance to catch the ball without getting it. We know that can't always happen. They're going to get hit. But I got to at least try to make it not so it's devastation. Like, right when they catch it, kapow, and the ball goes flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Give him a chance to see that. If I throw it early enough, I can see. Think about this. Getting hit when you're not looking compared to when you're looking. It's a totally different thing, right? And for anybody, but even a receiver. Like, if I can catch it here and, if the camera's the defender, at least I know, okay, I can see him. But if I'm running and it's here and I catch, in the camera's this computer, sayonara, I might be out for a week. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. So. I mean, I feel like that's in almost every sport. You're taught to attack the ball, right? In soccer, you're taught to run towards the ball. And in basketball, absolutely, baseball, you're not supposed to be afraid of it. And it looked like, that ETN drop, there was literally no one around him.
No.
And that, like I said, that had nothing to do with
He's got to catch it. It was a tiny bit low, but he's got to catch it.
But again, this is the
you got to catch it. You got to catch
isn't
it.
Pop Warner.
You got to catch it.
They spend their whole lives or the majority of their lives catching balls from people. That's why you're in the NFL, because this is what you've done.
Right. And you've had so many different quarterbacks throw you the football. It's not like you've always been with that one. I did want to read, we talked about Liam Coen being a top 10 offensive play caller in the NFL as ranked by the defensive peers. Here's what they said about Kyle Shanahan. They challenge all your rules. One NFC defensive coordinator said they're obviously 21 personnel, so 2 running backs, 1 tight end, as opposed to the 12 personnel that we talked about this week with the Jags. But whatever you try to do, they always have an answer for it because they can align in anything out of that personnel. So if you don't go base defense and try to match them in nickel, then they have all the answers or they can run it. And if you then do go base, you're really limited coverage-wise, and you always have to worry about the matchup on McCaffrey. So there you go, Anthony Campanile. Not that it's that, or he didn't already know all that, but that's what you are looking at when you're talking about the Shanahan scheme.
It's very hard to stop the run when you're nickel and dime,
right?
Because they can get a hat on a hat to your big guys. When you have that extra safety in the box and base, or that extra backer, you know what I mean. You can outnumber them. Somebody should be free to make a play. When it's nickel, it's very, very hard to stop the run. Unless you got, shooting gaps and, making things happen that way. But if they get a hat on a hat, look, they normally win. Yeah. It's just the way it works, especially if they get a hat on the backers. You play dime, like if you're the single backer, it is so hard to stop the run. You have no one to turn it back to. To think that you're going to jack the center up and go make a play, that's not realistic. You know what I mean? So when you're in nickel, and that's what they're saying, like they could show that with the same personnel that they look like they're nickel, but they're not in nickel. They just have bigger personnel. And if you go nickel, we're going to run it.
Right.
And you're not going to stop us.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have a tough time stopping us.
If you're interested in personnel groupings, NFL Live yesterday did with Dan Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, Marcus Spears, and Laura Rutledge. They did a really good job of breaking down why 12 personnel is so difficult to stop. With obviously the way that tight ends are today, and the reason I think that the Jaguars moved on. We've talked about this so many times from Evan Ingram is because they had Brenton Strange, who wasn't going to telegraph what they were going to do. All right, Taylor Dell has a tangent on the other side. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Get the weekend feeling all day Friday.
Best feeling in the world, isn't it?
That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday.
You're going to love this.
Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day. Built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
On game day, you trust your team. On storm day, trust the people's roofer, Morgan Conley Roofing. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
Helmets and heels.
Bought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911. GarageDoor911.com.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K. October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Maxed out on credit card, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 24th, 1988, Carl Lewis sets the new world record in the 100-meter at 9.92 seconds.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Football season is all about hanging at home and watching the big ball games. Well, if your AC and heating unit is letting you down and keeping those electric bills sky high, think about getting a new energy-efficient AC unit from Florida Home AC. They've got great deals on replacements plus rebates and incentives to make it more affordable. Call Florida Home AC at 777-4300 and get their expert staff to take a look. Football season is all about fun and playing for the win. Make sure you have the winning team on your side with Florida Home AC.
Coen Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is RJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned-out lights. Call on Coen Flowers. They do it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. By the way, the heat has come back. I thought we had reached kind of like a nice fall temperature.
Yeah.
But the heat is back.
Yeah, this is what it does. It's like
it
tricked you.
us.
I thought you were getting some cooled down
it was
weather.
In the 80s and low 70s, and then now back to the 90s.
Back.
Yeah.
So stay hydrated out there. All right, Taylor
It'll
Doll.
turn.
Yeah, for sure. Taylor Doll has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
Is it about the weather? We don't know.
It's not. But it is one of my favorite NFL topics in kickoff coverage and some results for kickoff coverage. So right now at this point in time, the LA Rams and the Carolina Panthers have been the two most successful teams on kickoff coverage so far, forcing opponents to start on their own 21-yard line on average. The 49ers, and this is why it's also a little side note, the 49ers are giving up the worst starting field position in the league with 33.8 yards.
Okay.
So we're seeing a lot of it. Almost if you go back and you watch what the Rams and the Panthers are doing, it's like knuckleball kicks is what they're doing. They're almost
kind of like onside kicks?
Almost. It's just like almost like straight, just where they need to do it to land it in that landing zone, and that's what they're focused on. They're not doing too much. They're not high. They're not trying to hit it on the corners or anything like that. The few that I saw that I went back after I saw
like
this.
line drives.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Pretty much is what it looks like that's what they're doing
It's like
for
a
the most
rugby
time.
kick.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's almost exactly what it looks like for at least the Rams ones that I have seen. So they have the Panthers are the best right now with 21.08. The Rams are next with 21.65. And then, like I said, the Niners are the worst in the league right now with 33.8. Behind that is the Raiders with 33.08. The Colts behind that with 33.70. Several teams that the Jags have facing coming up, or at least this year. The Colts are at the bottom. The Titans are at the bottom. The Raiders are at the bottom. The Niners are at the bottom. So these are all things that I think you can take advantage of if this is something that your special teams coach is looking at and saying, oh, we're facing some teams that have struggled in this area. The Jags, by the way, are 11th worst. That's 30.69. They're allowing their opponent to start on in league, and that's the average, obviously. So
it feels like they've been experimenting almost a little bit with Cam Little in these kickoffs to me. Like, I feel like they're trying to kind of gauge, like, exactly where can he
I don't
get
think
these
coverage
specific-
it's been okay at times, but coverage has been a little leaky at times too.
Yeah,
it feels like it anyway.
Yeah, Eddie Pinedo, by the way, is the 49ers kicker.
Yep.
So
yeah, he was a former Bear. So I mean, it looks like there's a large group of teams. That's the Bucs, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Jags, the Steelers, the Packers that are all within. It's like 30.1, 30.24, 30.27. So it seems like the majority of the league they're all kind of doing the same thing, but there's these weird outliers. So I wonder how much some of these teams are going to start watching the Panthers and Rams now. The Falcons are behind that, and the Giants are behind that, and the Texans are in the top 5.
Interesting, because most of those teams are terrible.
I know. So it's like, it's not giving you many wins. Well, the Rams are good. But and then Washington, Philly are behind that. So it's like there's still some good teams sitting at the top. But it's just, this has been such an interesting conversation to me since they changed the kickoff of how teams would approach. We talked about, too, how they were going to do. Some teams put 2 guys back there. Some teams put 1 guy to receive back there. There's a lot of different things they're experimenting with. So it's just it's so fascinating for me to watch. We already said a couple weeks ago, within the first 2 weeks, how much the kickoff amount has gone up since last year when it comes to how many actual returns they are, because people don't want to give you the ball on the 35.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the Jaguars that Heath Farwell needs to meet with media every single week, just like Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanile do, so that you can go to the press conference every week and dial into this stuff.
I wonder what this stat is. I mean, you think about, like, okay, they start in the 30, they start in the 20, probably in their last only 10 yards. Is it that big of a deal? It's probably an extra play to get into scoring position, I would imagine. But I wonder what the stats are. You know, if you're averaging 30, like how many, even just field goals, like how many scoring drives are you having and in comparison to starting on the 20?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And look, it may not matter during the course of the game until when? At the end, when you may need that extra play.
Mhm.
You may need that extra 10 yards to
I'm
start.
sure they have those analytics.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because obviously this
For sure.
factors in, too, when you do have someone like Cam Little that can kick a potentially a 70-yarder,
Yeah.
that field position starting, especially, like you said, towards the end of the game,
Yeah.
matters so much.
Yeah,
Once again.
And there's several. We saw this last weekend. I think it was a 68er, 69er get made. Like, they're happening all over the league at this point. So I think that's what is making this even more interesting, because teams are saying, okay, if you're already starting on the 35 because you get a touchback and then you only have to get 15, 20 yards, most teams, even the worst ones, feel like you can get that.
Yeah. Yeah, remember when you used to have a kickoff specialist?
Yeah.
So he could kick it out of the end zone. That's all we wanted. Kick it out of the end zone. Kick it out of the end zone. Kick it out of the end zone. But what does the league do?
And Lambeau, by the way, struggled with that.
Yeah,
Josh
he
Lambeau.
did. Right, that's right.
And that was frustrating.
Right,
Yeah.
What's the league do? They make it easier for the offense to score because that's all they care
Yeah,
about
they
is the
want
offense
points.
scoring. That's all they've ever cared about.
They do want
Almost every rule is for the offense to score. If you think about it
very
over
true,
decades.
yeah.
Well, people want to see the scoring, so I can kind of
We talked about it with
understand
baseball.
Yeah, baseball does the
They
same
changed
thing.
the ball. They allow certain, they allowed the universal DH.
Eliminate the
Yeah.
shift.
Yeah.
Right. Controlled that part of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they want more offense.
Yeah. By the way, sorry to switch to baseball. Did I see was it somebody on our staff that mentioned about in the internet the baseball the shrimp the first game where they're letting someone start the international, letting them start on second base or something like that? Like you get
an extra
innings. Extra innings?
Yeah. Major League Baseball does it. If you and once you hit extras, there's a runner on. You have a ghost runner. It's a runner on second.
Runner in scoring position, basically.
Already.
Wow.
And that was another reason they wanted more runs.
Well, that and they were trying to speed
it
things up
Right.
in theory to prevent player injuries. The
Right.
longer you're playing in a game,
Yeah, the more injuries happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's such true.
The world.
I've always been a defensive person in like every sport. So
Yeah, defensive battles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Me too, somehow.
I can understand that. All right, let's give some lunch away.
Yes, let's do it. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 4, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A.
I love it. By the way, speaking of that, Scranton did beat the Jumbo Shrimp last night 5-4 in the first game of the International League Championship game.
That's
So
okay.
tonight,
The sale for
7:05.
Tampa went through, so Ken's fine. He's happy.
Game 2 is tonight. If they need it, Game 3 will be on Thursday night, 7:05 first pitch. So get out there to the Jumbo Shrimp and cheer them on. We've got more to do on the other side. It's 10 to Next on 92.5 FM.
Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
The Bulldogs are road dogs as they head to Baldwin Friday night at 6:30 on 1010 AM.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. I now know why Closets by Design has over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, including mine. Our designer, Doug, came to our house a couple times and had such great ideas for maximizing our small closets. And then our installer, Alan, was so efficient, he installed all 3 closets in just a few hours. Goodbye, clutter. Hello, seamless organization. They can do the same for you in your home as they create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms, that's next on our list, and more. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until September 30th. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Helmets and heels.
Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Coen & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game? When Miles Jack wasn't down, do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coil. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. Since 1927, Coil has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821, coiljacks.com. That's COILJACKS.com. Jax.com. Coil Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening. Spicy. Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
4-alarm fire.
From the big number 1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose DuckDuckRooter. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, we do it all. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. DuckDuckRooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJax.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Get ready. Monday Night Football is coming to Everbank Stadium October 6th. And this is a matchup you won't want to miss. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are throwing it back in their Prowler jersey as they take on the Kansas City Chiefs under the primetime lights. Don't wait. Be a part of the action. Get your tickets now by visiting us online at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank for primetime football.
Hey, Hickett here. Celebrate the month of September with our friends at Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus the 4th room free. Take $100 off your air duct cleaning as well. Book online at zerosjacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Florida Gators will be on their first bye week of the year this Saturday as they prepare to host Texas in the Swamp at 3:30 on Saturday, October 4th. As for the second-ranked Miami Hurricanes, they also have their bye week this weekend, giving them some extra time to prepare for a huge game hosting Florida State on October 4th at 7:30. It's 89 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
We don't have the sound quite yet. Trevor Lawrence finished meeting with media just a little bit ago, but when asked about Mac Jones, he said, I've been texting with him since he was starting. I told him good luck. Happy with how he's been doing. Mac is a great guy, obviously. Yeah. Mac Jones, former backup quarterback to Trevor Lawrence last year. And 2-0 so far for Mac, 1-0 for Brock Purdy, and now we'll see which quarterback is going to end up starting.
Yeah, well, you got to, if Purdy's ready to go, they'll put him out there. That's what, that's what you want your backup to do. Mm-hmm. Go in there, don't screw it up, and find a way to win and not do too much, and Max, I'm happy for him too. Look, he, obviously, I don't think he ever got the benefit of the doubt as everybody else, because of the coaching last year or the situation or the culture or whatnot. He was just the backup. Some people liked him, some people didn't, but
he found ways to connect with Brian Thomas Jr.
He sure did.
They definitely had that.
But good for him.
And
good for him, man.
stretch.
Now just go get his ass if he does play. on Sunday
And
because
now
he's the
ruined
enemy
his
for the day.
Yeah, it to me seems like from everything I've read, and we'll see the injury report later today, I would imagine much later than we're used to because it is a West Coast team that the Jaguars are facing. But my guess is that it will be Brock Purdy starting and Mac Jones backing him up. Again, would be my guess if Mac Jones is able to be the backup again with a sprained PCL. We shall see how
no
he
doubt.
feels.
Take that up.
Absolutely. All right. Speaking of injuries, time now for Lawrence Lane.
Now, Lawrence Lane, driven by Mazda at the Avenues. This is luxury. This is Mazda at the Avenues.
A great place to go if you need a new vehicle and you want to trade yours in. All right, so today in Lawrence Lane, Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, we know he ended up with I had seen thumb injury, but then everything I read was hand injury. So I feel like they don't really want to necessarily disclose that, but he has to have surgery on that injury, and now he's going to be out for at least probably 3 to 4 weeks, and that means that Michael Hawkins Jr. will get the start. So I went back and I watched some film of Michael Hawkins Jr. because he did play a little bit last year. He is a dual threat quarterback. So the way that John Mateer has been able to operate the offense, I don't think they're going to lose that much when it comes to Michael Hawkins Jr. So obviously, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're very concerned. Mateer is one of the Heisman favorites at this point in time, and he's been phenomenal for Brent Venables. But I think Hawkins Jr. certainly can lead them through the next few games, I'll say, even though I know that it's not going to be easy against Texas. They have Kent State this upcoming Saturday. Nice. That's basically, this
Kent's
Saturday is
making a lot of money this year.
Yeah,
Kent's like, pay us, we'll play you, right?
Play anybody.
Yeah, sorry, bye week this week, and then next week, Kent State. So that's 2 weeks right away where Mateer obviously doesn't have to play. Then you have the Red River rivalry on October 11th, so Oklahoma and Texas. Texas isn't nearly as good as what we thought preseason with all the hype for Arch Manning. And then Oklahoma at South Carolina. South Carolina hasn't been nearly as good as what we thought.
True.
And then by the time you get to October 25th, I would imagine Mateer could be back potentially. That's when Oklahoma plays host to Ole Miss, and then Oklahoma travels to Tennessee. So you'd obviously like Mateer to be ready to be able to play in those games. But I like Hawkins Jr., and I know he was a really good quarterback in high school at Texas. And he is a guy who, this is shocking, I know, he's a sophomore at Oklahoma, and this is his first and only school that he's been to.
Oh, wow.
For a quarterback.
Good for him.
I know.
Just sticking it out.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that you're obviously worried anytime you lose your quarterback, especially one that you feel now has started getting talked about more and more, and everybody really likes him. He does
Except Gator fans who were probably excited when they saw DJ Lack.
Yeah, maybe that's different. There are, I guess, sometimes the circumstances.
Like, oh, darn, he went down.
Yeah, but, I mean, he has over 1,200 yards in 4 games. There are just 6 touchdowns, 3 picks in that time, so it's not even like he's, through the roof making all of these big plays and has, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks on the season. And so I do feel like you have to have some confidence in that backup quarterback and what they're able to bring in, especially with what seems like a mostly manageable schedule. But it does suck for him.
Easier
it
than
sucks
what we
for
thought preseason.
Yeah, and side note really quick, because I saw this yesterday when you were talking about Texas and what, I know there's been a lot of people, which I guess rightfully so, criticizing Arch Manning. But somebody did a comparison of Arch, Peyton, and Eli, their first 6 college starts. And so Arch has 1,623 yards in those first 6 starts. Peyton had 1,682, and Eli had 1,657. Arch has 19 touchdowns. Peyton only had 13, and Eli had 14. It's 63% completion percentage, 66.5, 65.3. Arch has 5 picks. Peyton had 3, and Eli had 1. They're all 5-1 to start their first 6 games. But Arch has the highest passer rating of those other 2 between their 6 college starts. So it's like
he's going to be a superstar.
The difference is Arch Manning has now been at Texas. This is his 3rd season.
Right.
Eli and Peyton both started as true freshmen.
Well, Peyton didn't. He came in. There was it was a 3 quarterback race that first year, and then the starting quarterback got hurt, and he did a competition, came in, kind of sucked that first start, and then ended up winning. I was reading about it earlier because I was trying to see the paths of it, but you still need reps. I hate when people, I don't like that. He's already been there, and I'm like, I get it. You're learning the playbook, and you have that type of stuff, but you're really not getting comfortable in an offense unless you're throwing and getting hit and getting those reps. And you saw a few of those. This is including, I think he had a start last year, so it's when you're talking about Arch. I think it's more so just be a little patient. People are so impatient. And I think the Manning name has made it even more with Arch. But he's doing what Eli and Peyton did early on, so let's wait until we talk about it maybe at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. But listen, it comes with the territory.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And he's got his grandfather. What was his grandfather saying? Yeah, we're only going to do this. We're only going to do this, right? You know, with his grandson. So, you know.
But he said, I don't want to be a part of that. They drug him into that.
Yeah.
I do think there's a difference. It's not like starting as a true freshman and coming in and having to learn the system and being 17 or 18 years old versus at least being in Austin, Texas, knowing the system that Steve Sarkisian has. But to your point, patience is important. And the reason people don't have patience with DJ Lagway right now is not as much DJ, even though he certainly has played poorly, but it's way more obviously on the head coach and the lack of bringing in an offensive coordinator to be able to help someone like him. Like, how is DJ going to get better if you have this offense that looks like it's run from the 1970s?
Well, and the O-line hasn't helped him out either. I mean, at least I saw in Monday.
Certain players have played
Miami.
okay, but the right tackle was definitely abused.
Well, listen, back to Oklahoma. First of all, Mateer, what a tough dude. I watched that game. He got hurt in the first quarter. Having surgery, going to L.A. to see one of the top hand specialists. So I wonder what that is. You know, it's got to be. If he probably can't grip it, so you got to have surgery.
Yeah, if it's the thumb, you need the thumb.
Well, you definitely need the thumb.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you need the pinky.
Yeah.
You know, put a pin in the pinky. I've never had it.
I would imagine it's the thumb and maybe one of the ligaments, something like that. And
maybe so.
Nowadays, they all go see the specialists, I feel like. Even like high school baseball players, I don't feel like they don't stay in their town.
Yeah.
They go see the specialists wherever they are. By the way, since I mentioned Florida, did you know that Florida's a basketball school, not a football school now? And basketball season is around the corner. So I went ahead and bought our tickets for Florida-Miami. That comes up Sunday, November 16th at 7:30 at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Y'all can go get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. It is the Sunday night following the Jaguars playing host to the Chargers.
Oh,
it's
wow.
also the Jacksonville Fair going on.
Oh, okay.
So
It's gonna be
make
crazy
sure
down there.
make sure you work on your logistics. But yeah, for some Gator fans, they can go see the Jags play the Chargers and then go to the basketball game.
Are you telling me I got to start watching Gator basketball? Because that's not in my contract.
or Jags Miami fans. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And yes, Tom, when basketball
I got to
season
watch
rolls around,
Gator basketball. Oh, my gosh. All right.
Ask Taylor.
I'm gonna have to switch alcohol.
Ask Taylor how
I had to
frustrating
start
that
doing
was.
it.
Yeah, or how time consuming that was. And by the way, also this comes up December 2nd, which is my dad's birthday.
And my brother's birthday.
And that's right, your brother's birthday. Florida travels to Duke. That'll be the first time that Florida has played at Cameron Indoor since 1998.
Wow.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
Closing in on 30 years. But so that game we found out today will tip off at 7:30. Basketball practice just began this week. So that's what Florida fans get to look forward to since, I don't know,
You guys
they're
can
1 and
turn the
3.
page.
Yeah. And to me, Florida State, Miami, Georgia should never have their season over in September.
Yeah.
I don't care like what's going on. You should never have your season over in September like Florida does now. All right, so we will keep the Jaguars conversation going as well as bring in Dahlia Farah to talk some legal things going on in the sports world. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Get straight talk from D-Rock.
So let me get this straight.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Opened by Lee and Kate's Glass. Guaranteed greatness since 1926 on 1010XL.
Hacker here. And this past week during the fifth quarter, I had a listener come up to me and say that my story about Awaken 180 weight loss, my journey with Awaken 180 weight loss, had inspired them. And they made the call to Awaken 180 weight loss. They were beginning the program that they hoped would change their life much as it has changed mine. Awaken 180 weight loss has changed my life for the positive. And I love that I can tell people about Awaken 180 if you need to lose weight like I certainly needed to. And if my story inspires you to make the call, it'll be the best call you will ever make. It's the best weight loss program I've ever been on. The coaching you get, the guidance you get is absolutely spectacular. Take it from somebody that lost over 100 pounds on Awaken 180 weight loss. If it's time for you to regain control of your life, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 weight loss.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue has been serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast for over 75 years. And this month only, Bono's has loaded barbecue tater tots. That smoked pulled pork on top of tater tots with melted cheddar cheese sauce. You won't find this anywhere else. And with 18 Bonos around town, there's always one nearby. You can see all the locations at bonosbarbecue.com. Remember, the loaded barbecue tater tots are served for a limited time only, so don't miss out. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Helmets and Heels from the Greenlaw Group Studios.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The calls have been pouring in.
It's the strongest phone connection on the First Coast. The Checkmate Coatings phone line covers you with expert interviews from around the country and your opinions and comments from here at home. All day, every day on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Okay, listen up, team. They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. When customers call with leaky faucets, broken water heaters, toilet repairs, broken pipes, or any other challenge, we'll give them the solution fast. Now, who are we?
Roland Reese Plumbing!
I can't hear you.
Roland Reese Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like. Customers always win with Roland Reese Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Where does Pearl Jam rank on Tom's band list?
We've done Jeremy.
Okay. In class today.
Yeah, Jeremy. He was a bad boy.
Yeah, he was.
What else did we do? We did Better Man.
Okay.
I like Better Man. Better Man's a good one.
By the way, I don't know if this
Pearl
falls
Jam.
into the dancing category for Saturday night, but
Right.
Hayes Carline, who's going to the gala, loves Pearl Jam.
Oh, nice.
Loves Pearl
Well,
Jam.
maybe we'll have to throw one up there. We'll see.
There you go.
But, yeah, when I first sent over my set list, I got some responses back. They're like,
Some feedback.
do you guys do, like, Rockin' the Casbah or something like that? I'm like, no, but we got some dance songs we'll throw at you. So
I
I
love
had to
it.
send it back. But it's going to be fun. I'm glad
for
Hayes
sure.
is going to be there, man.
Absolutely.
It's cool. Be a good time.
WasteNotFlorida.org. We talked about it a little bit yesterday,
Yes.
but for people who missed it, you can get tickets there. And Tom's going to have several other Jaguars players attend, and the dad bods are going to be rocking.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun and a beautiful setting. Beautiful setting out in Orange Park.
Prepare to laugh a lot with Hayes Carline there.
Oh, absolutely.
Good. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Absolutely.
We'll fit right in.
All right, I wanted to
Good
get
time.
into a little hardball. We don't talk a ton of baseball on this show, but there's a reason for that, and that's because of football. So the Terminix Pest of the Day, brought to you by our friends at Terminix. The sport of football just overshadows everything when it comes to Major League Baseball, and I know for their calendar, it just ends up that the World Series is in October. They're not going to change that. I get that. But I feel like no one's paying attention to these pennant races. And it's literally coming down to the wire with about
it's
5
stressful.
games left. Yeah, very stressful for Cubs fans. So I'm going to get your take on this in a second. But if you have any sort of pest issues, you can do what Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and I did. go to Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They will do the same for you and your business. All right, so when it comes to the AL Central, the Guardians and the Tigers are tied, but the Guardians have the head-to-head tiebreaker, and the Tigers have fallen off the face of the earth, it feels like.
Yeah, very rough for Detroit. But it's funny because I remember in the beginning of the season, let's say end of April, being like, I'm shocked the Tigers are playing the way the Tigers are. And then, like, Javi Baez had this wild, insane streak of, like, playing back to what he was in 2017. It was a lot of crazy things happening. But, I mean, if you want to talk about a free fall, you were 15 and a half up at one point, and then you were 9.5 up, like, 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah, definitely not what you want to have happen down the stretch. And since they are tied, like them and Cleveland, they're tied right now, but Cleveland wins that tiebreaker. Yep. So you don't even have that to like in your back pocket to say, well, if it ends in a tie, we have this. You don't. You have to win.
But the good news is, for people who don't have football to watch tonight, Tigers at the Guardians, 6:40 first pitch, and then tomorrow night also 6:40 first pitch. So, and then the Guardians finish with the Rangers. But so that solves our head-to-head, even though, like you said, the Guardians have that head-to-head tiebreaker. They have 2 more games against one another. So hopefully don't split. Hopefully one team wins both.
Yeah, if they split, then it is coming down to that, and that is not ideal for the Tigers, at least.
You know, for City, look, I mean, prior to Jacksonville, it was Chicago and Boston for me. You know, college wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
I mean, even BC wasn't, you had, now granted, our 5th year, most of the pro teams weren't doing well, and we were, so we got a little bit of, exposure there, but they're more concerned with their pro teams. So even though they got the Pats, if the Red Sox are going, they're cranking Fenway. And they got more people to do it, too, that can, you know what I mean? There's just
the bigger market.
Multiple people, bigger market, bit more people. But hockey, baseball, basketball, football, and it's funny because you're here, even though we have our Jags, we love them, we're still more of a college-type town, although I think
it's slowly shifting.
Yeah, it's shifting 50-50
After 30 years,
maybe.
we've now reached that second generation of fans, which is good.
Yeah.
But to your larger point, I know when the Jags first got here, this was, from everyone that tells me that was here in the 70s, including my parents, this was a Gators town with a lot of Georgia. It wasn't so much FSU, but it was Florida first and then Georgia second. And then certainly now I think it's much more Florida State. And then certainly you have some Miami and some Georgia as well. The AL wild card, the Tigers lead the Astros by 1 game.
And this is when you talk all year, like baseball's, it's a long season. It's a long season. It's a long season. And every year it still comes down to where a team or 2, sometimes 5 are still in the race in the final 4, 5, 6 games. And it's wild. But that just shows, number one, why the series are also, I guess it's not always 3 games, sometimes it's 4 games, but those series are important, and the reason why they changed that postseason into having the wild card into multiple games rather than just the win or lose one in that wild card round to begin and you're out. Because that's baseball. Like you have
it really should probably be a 7-game series is what it feels like. Even though I know throughout most of the year it's 3-game series.
Yeah.
But even a 5, I feel like the 3-game series. Yeah, 3-game series. If you have 2 really strong pitchers, 2 aces, you're probably going to win. But
then you have to strategize after that too, because you're like, okay, if you use your top 2 pitchers in those first 2 wild card games, and then you go on to the next round, and then you don't have those to start that next series. So that's what I love about baseball is everything, every single tiny decision, every single pitch matters throughout the entire season, because you can go back to games in June and say, this one series, this pitcher who is probably our ace normally got hurt and we lost the 4 starts he would have had in June. And because of that, you don't win. Like some of those teams are not in the playoff because of that.
Or you pulled the pitcher a little too soon, but you think, oh, well, I've got this in hand.
Loses
and then,
it.
the bullpen drives you crazy. NL wild card, the Mets lead the Reds and the D-backs by 1 game, but the Mets and Cubs, Taylor, are playing one another.
Oh, yeah. Dan came in and was on a heater this morning about it. That game was crazy yesterday. The Cubs were up 5-1, ended up losing that game. But they also haven't won a single game since clinching. They're safe. Like, they're in the postseason no matter what. So it almost feels like they're just kind of cruising. Like yesterday, Cade Horton, who is probably our best pitcher, possibly winning Rookie of the Year, too. He's been fantastic. They pulled him after like 20-something pitches, I believe it was, very early. And everybody was like, oh, no, what's going on? Seems like it was just like my back hurts a little bit. But to me, it feels like they want to save Cade. And you're like, you're already in the postseason. Don't risk hurting your best pitcher in a game that doesn't affect you directly. It affects obviously who you play. It could affect, but the Mets have to. The Mets have to win. The Mets are in a position right now. It's Mets, Diamondbacks, and Reds are kind of fighting for that final NL wild card spot.
They got to go all out.
So
Cubs don't, right?
Mets at Cubs tonight, 8:05 p.m. So that's certainly another important game to watch. AL East, the Blue Jays lead the Yankees by 1 game, but the Yankees have an easier stretch or down the road. Their schedule's honestly a lot easier than the Blue Jays. So that's one to follow. And then the NL West, the Dodgers lead the Padres by 1.5 games.
I love baseball and postseason baseball. So fun.
It is. And so if the season ended today, nothing changes with the National League from a week ago. When we did this a week ago, the buys would be the Brewers and the Phillies. NL wild cards would be Mets at Dodgers, Padres at Cubs. But the American League, like we just talked about with all these pennant races, that has already shifted. So last week, the buys were the Blue Jays and the Tigers. Now it's the Blue Jays and the Mariners. The AL Wild Card Series, and again, that's with games left to play between the Blue Jays and the Yankees as far as their schedules. The Astros at the Yankees is what it was a week ago. Now it's Tigers at Guardians. And a week ago, it was Red Sox at Mariners. Now it's Red Sox at Yankees. I would love to get Red Sox at Yankees.
Oh, yeah. That would be...
But I'm afraid the Yankees are going to end up winning out and winning the AL East.
Ugh, I don't want that.
I can understand why you do not. Most people do not.
Yeah.
But like I said, the
Unless you're from Boston.
Yeah. So the Yankees have the White Sox tonight. They already won last night against the White Sox, and they won in walk-off fashion.
Yeah, well,
and then
it's the White Sox.
They have the White Sox, obviously, for 2 more, and then the Yankees have the Orioles. The Orioles, obviously, have not been good this year at all.
Yeah, and a lot of people were shocked by that one. By the way, did you see, excuse me, your guy, Hunter Barco, got called up?
I did see that.
And I was like, him and Skeens are playing, not Skeens, because he got called up. Somebody else, I want to say just right before that. But I also feel like that's almost a little mean. They're like, you have 4 games, so we're going to call you up for this 4 games. And that's all that weird arbitration stuff starts to kick in at that. That's why players get a little mad. But I did see it, and I was like, oh, good for him.
Yeah, so the Blue Jays have the Red Sox tonight and tomorrow night. The Blue Jays lost the Red Sox 4-1 last night, and then they finish up with the Rays. The Rays are out of contention, and that's in at Toronto. So I feel like... it's going to come literally down to the last game.
Oh, yeah. And that's happened. The Cubs Brewers, I want to say 4 years ago, they had to add an extra game because it was tied at the end. And so they added an extra play
game. Head-to-head tiebreaker.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah. Did you see the Jacob Young catch?
So that was
from
fantastic.
Jacksonville.
That was bad.
That was so fantastic. Went to Florida. No. Yeah. That was.
Maybe that's who I was thinking of. I was like, there was another Gator.
Is it off the foot? That one that bounced off the wall, then off the foot. That was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. And when it comes to, I feel like Jacksonville, like I said earlier, go out and pack the Vistar Ballpark tonight, beat Scranton, and force a Game 3 tomorrow night for the National League. I want to say the Jumbo Shrimp have not won the AAA since 2005, because obviously they were AA for quite some time. So I want to say it's been about 20 years. If I remember that correctly.
I want to say the Shrimp posted that they hadn't hosted since a AAA postseason since 1960 something.
Okay, so
because they were double for a really long time.
Yeah,
but there was triple. Maybe they didn't make it in that time. I could have sworn the Shrimp just posted that yesterday. It was like 68 or something like that I saw. But maybe I reread that. Messed up that stat. But yeah, this been a really fun season because they were already first half champion. They were the first half champions for their league, and then you go on and you continue what you were doing for that whole second half. And so, yeah, it's there's something. Playoffs in general. That's one of the things we talk about a lot. When it's I'm not the biggest NBA fan, but there's something added once it gets to the NBA playoffs where you do feel a little bit more invested. But if you're already a fan of a sport and then the playoffs add the extra everything it brings, it's just something really special. And baseball, honestly, especially because a team like this who hasn't done it in so long, it's really fun to watch them do from start to finish, have a season. Baseball's a long time, and you're able to dominate pretty much the whole year.
Did you ever play baseball, Tom?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I played baseball till my freshman year in high school.
And were you a slugger?
I was catcher, and which I love because you could bury those little kids right into the ground. And then center field. Played center field. Yeah.
You could run.
Right. Yeah. I was a good little athlete when I was younger. So I got bigger. I got slower. It just happens that way. But no, I agree with you on the playoffs. I don't get into, I'll be honest, I don't get into baseball probably till World Series type. With football, it's just like you start to play. To me, every game's just the best. You know what I mean? So, and then playoffs especially.
Sure. Well, that's why people have loved college football so long, because before the 12-team playoff, and especially now, but even before that with the 14 playoff, you could lose a little bit more and still make it.
Yeah.
But when it was the BCS, obviously when people were voting, but especially then,
yeah. I was just going to say, like,
every game matters.
Yeah. Especially if you're not in a conference.
Yeah. You got to think, like, non-football, they probably just watch the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's their...
Yeah, I can't even imagine that.
No, right. But there got to be people out there that are just
sports, I still can't imagine like being like, all right, let's watch our first football game of the year, and it's in February, which is the last game of the year.
One of my buddies, Governor, who came to the show last week, he doesn't watch at all. Like, and I think that's what's really cool about our relationship, because he doesn't do sports at all.
Okay.
Like, doesn't watch anything. Barely watch the Jags. He'll just, ask me questions once in a while, which is kind of interesting. But, yeah, you got to think, like, people that aren't into football, they may just wait to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where people that aren't into baseball, like, I got a brother, Bob. He'll sit in his garage, drink a case of beer, and watch the Cubs on WGN. I mean, like 80 games out of the year. And you're just like, that's dedication.
Yeah. I don't think
for me. I'm not doing that. But
games a year.
The case of beer is a little bit too much. But you catch my drift. And he enjoys it because he's totally like you. You love the Cubs. I mean, for me, I'm not sitting there during the regular season watching a baseball game unless I'm at the game.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm at a game, I'll watch it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
No,
the way
I would never
orchestrate my life is I will
Hoops
not.
too.
I understand. I will not change my life schedule around baseball. Like, I will absolutely watch a ton of baseball throughout the regular season, Florida and the Rays. But I'm not going to, if someone invites me to something like a concert, I'm not going to skip the concert to watch that. With football, like, I'm not going to miss, and my entire life, my social life is orchestrated around football.
Yeah, like when the kids were growing up, we got a birthday on Sunday. What? Somebody's throwing a birthday party on Sunday. Do they know the Jags are? I'd go crazy. Like, they know that it's going to be on. I'm like, it's not the same.
Oh, no.
It's not, or a wedding or something like that. You're like, can't they wait till like the spring?
Yeah,
but you will for college basketball.
Yeah,
I will rearrange my life for college.
Think about my day. Yeah, no way.
I mean, and there are certain games.
The Gator, Florida. I mean, Gator.
Yeah, Florida men's basketball. Yeah, that is very true. And gymnastics, I'll write my life around that too. All right.
Some people are like, we don't think that doesn't cross our mind.
Right.
That is true. We all have our different loves. All right, we will say hello to Dahlia Farrow as she joins us next. Personal injury lawyer from Fair and Fair. It's 1010X on 92.5 FM.
When you listen to radio play-by-play, you don't just hear the game, you feel it.
This feel good. That feel good.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio.
Everyone deserves to feel safe and valued. I'm Heather Quick, owner and attorney at Florida Women's Law Group. We're committed to supporting women affected by domestic violence. With essential legal advocacy and support, we help them regain their strength and independence. If you or someone you know needs help, we're here. Together, we can create a safer, brighter future. Visit FloridaWomen'sLawGroup.com or call 904-204-2359. Divorce for women, by women. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Chick-fil-A has something brand new on the menu, and it's only here for a limited time. Introducing the Pretzel Cheddar Club. This sandwich comes on a warm, buttery pretzel bun, a slice of cheddar cheese topped with 3 strips of applewood smoked bacon, fresh lettuce, and tomato. And the kicker, a creamy Dijon mustard sauce on the side that takes this sandwich to the next level. Try it grilled, spicy, or original Chick-fil-A chicken. Don't wait. It's only here for a short time, so stop by Jacksonville Chick-fil-A locations and try the Pretzel Cheddar Club today.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Sports fans, this is David Garrard here. And if you're suffering from orthopedic soreness, make an appointment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where everyone is treated like a pro.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Swing for the future of veterans and military spouses at Operation New Uniform's second annual Patriot Games Golf Tournament. I'm Michelle McManaman.
And I'm Pete Langlois. Join us Monday, October 6th. Register today at onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you, and our special guest, Dahlia Farah, joins us in studio, personal injury attorney for Farah and Farah. All right, Dahlia, 2-1. How do you feel about the Jags going all the way on the West Coast to the 49ers?
I'm feeling good.
Okay, good.
I mean,
you're in your Jag stuff.
I am. I'm wearing Jaguar print in honor of the occasion.
I love it.
I mean, if we're able to win on Sunday and then going into Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah. This crowd is going to be crazy, which I think some people were a little disappointed in the crowd this past weekend. It's still really hot, y'all.
Yeah, it is very hot. We were talking about that off air. What is your normal right now before it cools down a little bit? Your daily routine for a game? Like, how are you a screaming at the TV type of mentality that you have on game day?
Yes. So my family always gets together for the game. It's almost like a holiday. It's like, okay, 1 o'clock. Where are we meeting? What are we ordering for food? We got to watch
a whole
the Jags.
occasion.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, you also graduated from Florida and Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Did you ever envision a time when Vanderbilt would be this much better than Florida at football?
No. When I was at Vanderbilt, I remember my first Vandy game. I showed up and I was able to Uber to the stadium. There was no surge charge. No one was there. It was very shocking coming from Florida.
Right.
Such a football school.
Yeah. And now Clark Lee's done a really good job. All right, let's get it to sports betting. So we know that it's legal in 38 states. So that's where I want to start. And we know that it used to be a federal mandate, but that shifted. So now it's a state-by-state decision. But there's only 38 that I feel like all 50 should have joined in. Why is it only 38?
Yeah, it's a state decision. Sports betting is really interesting. I don't know about y'all's house, but in our house, my dad, my brother, my uncle, everybody's on it. I mean, it makes a normal game kind of exciting because you have a team to root for.
It definitely steps up the anxiety level.
Yeah, so we're cheering for some random college game. It's become our night, but it's a lot of fun, and once doing it responsibly, of course. But I want to focus on Florida because I think it's pretty interesting. So Florida, the Seminole Tribe of Florida has exclusive rights to sports betting in Florida, both in their locations and online. I was thinking about it because usually you think of tribal lands of the casinos. Why does the app, how is that legal? And it's kind of an interesting legal argument. The app is legal because the servers are located on tribal lands.
Ah,
so it's kind of a little loophole there. So as long as the servers are on the tribal land, that you can use the app anywhere in Florida. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is interesting. And I'm guessing, Taylor, and Dahlia, that the Seminole Indians and the other tribes, the United States government feels bad for them because of what transpired in our country so long ago. And so that's why they're still given all these different rules.
Well, they do operate under different laws, and there is an agreement between the Seminole tribe and the state of Florida, which allows them to do this. And you think of why some states allow it, and it is revenue generating.
Mhm.
A lot of people do participate, and it's regulated. So instead of people just doing it kind of illegal or offshore books, that they're using our system.
Yeah, you don't have to use the MyBookies.
Yeah, I'll go through all those other places.
Bookies,
yeah. So when right now we're seeing the sports betting, advertising, logos, like stadiums are named after it. We're seeing it everywhere. And as Florida, as we're starting to expand to other states to make everything fully legal, and I know here it's a little bit different than some other states, but do you think there's ever going to be some backfire of that? Like we're seeing these commercials while we're watching games, and we're seeing players get sponsored by certain different betting odds, but then players can't bet, and then certain states can't bet. Do you see this ever kind of clashing and turning into something bigger?
Yeah, it is interesting because we see commercials for like FanDuel's, and that's not in Florida.
Yeah.
And I think they're promoting, so maybe when you're in these other states,
you're still using it.
You're still utilizing it. It's just brand awareness. Because in Florida right now, the Seminole tribe does have a monopoly.
Okay.
So they're the only ones that have sports betting. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe the state of Florida allows other people to get involved and can create some competition there.
So if I'm in the state of Georgia, can I still bet through the Hard Rock app, or is that only if you're in the state of Florida?
It's only if you're in the state of Florida. I'm not sure what Georgia's laws are on that. I'm not sure what their sports betting laws look like.
So we're pretty lucky, in other words, again, 38 states have it, but we're pretty lucky to have it the way that we have it.
It's pretty new too. I mean, this just happened in December of 23. So, it's fairly new.
Do we think they've lost money or made money since they started? My guess is like Vegas, they've probably made a lot of money.
What do you think it is for the states saying no, fighting back on it? What is their main argument to not allow sports betting in that state?
A lot of it is cultural.
Okay.
Against gambling.
Yeah.
Concern that people become addicted. That's an issue we see a lot as well. Yeah. So I think those are the main issues.
I've got the friends that are addicted.
I think those are the big
it is
concerns.
fun, obviously, for people, whether it's the player prop bets that happen, or if it's just, I'm going to bet on something like you said, Dahlia. I would never have cared about this whatsoever, but now I'm just going to put just $5 on it, and then, it turns into that. We obviously know that fantasy football is massive, and you don't necessarily have to gamble on that, but obviously most people do put at least something on it, and so, it just spices up football season just a little bit more.
We do our bets, or I guess kind of bets on Fridays. We'll pick the teams just against the spread, win or losses, and that already adds a whole another element, and we're only picking 5 games, so imagine if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars on some of this.
And it's not even just you're betting on who's winning. I mean, there's all kind of bets you can do.
Oh, yeah.
If someone's going to run back, a kickoff, a touchdown, that's a bet.
Yeah.
All kinds of things that are available.
Yeah, they definitely get creative with some of them too.
That they do. Just a reminder to everyone, the game this Sunday is 4 p.m. 4 p.m. because the Jaguars are playing out in California. So for people who are just so used to that 1 o'clock kick and getting together then, you're going to be 3 hours early.
Game day plans change a little bit.
That's absolutely right. Well, Dahlia, thank you so much for joining us. We have learned a lot, and we will talk to you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've got more to do. That's right. Go Jags. On the other side, it's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels. Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
With the score tied, it was time for the good guys to make a final push towards a W while in regulation. Trevor Lawrence led the Young Guns on a 7-play, 83-yard drive, capped off by a Travis Etienne score, giving the Teal and Black a 17-10 advantage in the final period. The 1-minute, 59-second drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville, and now's the time to drive away in luxury.
That's right, Jennifer. The $7,500 tax credit ends this month. It's your last month to take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, drive the all-new electric Optique, Lyric, and Vistique. They are all in stock and ready to drive today.
See all of our inventory at Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.com or visit us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know. Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass, still family owned and in business for 100 years. When they say you're going to see a big difference, that's for everything. Custom showers and spas, tabletops, mirrors, even replacing foggy windows, all at a more affordable price. And with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed, Lee and Kate's Glass is your best choice. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a Dandy today.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
On game day, you trust your team. On storm day, trust the people's roofer, Morgan Conley Roofing. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
I feel like, because we were just talking, Tommy, about sports betting and some of the intricacies that go into that, the different states and their laws and everything like that. But it also, in all seriousness, when I have like money or some sort of bet that like means something, I know we have our little things and it's fun. But like when I had to do the Wheel of Consequence on the drill, I dreaded that. Like it's not fun to me once you have something that you actually like money care about or something you care about.
Something embarrassing.
Yes.
Yeah, which we have to decide whoever loses this month because we're closing.
What we end up having to do.
Yeah, what that person has to do.
What are we thinking anyway? You have any ideas at all? Like what?
It's up for discussion. I mean, you know, the drill does, to your point, Taylor, the drill does really embarrassing things to one another.
I don't want to be too embarrassed.
I don't think we need any of that kind of stuff.
I already had to wear
I
an
might
air
let you
rocket.
guys set the tone, and then I'll just react from there. You know what I mean? See what you throw at me, and then I'll be like,
Maybe
okay.
kind of like rookie hazing, something along those lines. Like you have to stand in front of people and sing a song.
Oh,
but yeah,
geez,
that's too
He
easy
does that
for
all
you.
the time.
Yeah, that's
Keep
too
me
easy
up
for
at
you.
night. I don't know.
Maybe-
My anxiety might get too high for that one.
nothing like that was going to work.
Yeah,
for
I
you.
almost feel like with our show,
not
kind
wearing
of
a
like the
diaper.
drill does, it almost has to be individual to whoever loses.
Yeah.
Because if we had decided something right now, it could not mean anything to you and be terrible for me or, you know,
Right.
whatever. So I guess more so when we see who the loser is, which right now I'm losing.
It's close,
we'll decide
though.
from there.
It is very close.
Very close.
Yeah. Right now, I have 14, Tom has 10, and Taylor has 9.
Ooh.
So with one more week of picks.
Yeah, I went 4 for 5. That saved me this last week.
All right.
Yeah, well,
The freaking Ravens.
I don't count the push. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Yeah. We really needed the officials to catch the fact that Oklahoma was cheating for Tom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for us, we needed
baloney.
We needed material, maybe not to get hurt.
Yeah, I didn't do good on the prop bets this week, just for the record. Lost. But I'm not deterred. It's still fun.
That's right.
It's still fun. I'm not deterred. I've won and I've lost. I've lost more than
That's
I've
how it goes.
won.
That is how it goes.
I tell you honestly, and I don't know how people do it. Like, you see some of the odds, like bet, $100, win 117. I'm like, that's
Like,
boring
why?
to me. I'm not even doing that.
Yeah.
But then someone's like, well, what if you put 100,000 and it becomes, okay, that might be a little bit different, but I'm not putting 100,000 on it.
I was looking at the Circa Survivor and Grandissimo stuff yesterday, and I could not believe that certain people put like $100,000 on certain games. I was like, guys, I don't think this was do you understand how this works? Like,
some of them, and I don't know the 100,000 one, but obviously I know the Circa Survivor. A lot of people have multiple. So, because I know Kyle Motes that won a couple years ago that we had on here, he has multiple usually every single year. So I think they have one where it's like, there's like different strategies for each one where it's kind of like, all right, let's be a little more bold this week because if you win that one, a lot of people are getting knocked out and you're the lucky one. But then you have your safe bets too.
And you can only use the team once. So that's part of it. Okay, so Circa Grandissimo week 3 results. I understand the 8 people that chose the Packers going up against the Browns. They were knocked out. That's correct. By the way, the overwhelming majority picked the Seahawks and the Bills. Between those two, and the Bills won on Thursday night, and then the Seahawks won easily on Sunday. And then 8 people picked the Chiefs. They're safe. 6 people picked the Bucks. That one came very close.
They were sweating on that.
That's right.
One.
4 people picked the Colts. I think that was a good choice. And then 1 person picked the 49ers. 2 people were knocked out because they chose the Falcons.
I thought there'd be more that chose Falcons.
You would have thought, yeah. I mean, if I was them, I would have chose
Seattle.
The Seahawks or the Bills. Yeah, I would have done it that way because, again, both of those teams won easily. All right, back to the Jaguars. Liam Coen met with media earlier today, and he was asked about Travis Hunter. Will his usage change if there are injuries to either side of the football?
He's right now one position on offense and one position on defense. So that doesn't really fully change. It's just more the next guy having to go and adjust to go play some Z, which is what happened in the game. So no, I don't think it changes much.
Yeah, I listen. They don't want to, get them even more, convoluted with what's going on in the playbook. Let's just get the position and work on your corner. And I still think, look, I what he showed me in that slot and just that one play. You're the wizard, Liam. Like, get that set up when it's a down you need. 4th down and 2 or whatever, 3rd down and 4. You gotta have it. Go to him. Like, you put him on somebody one-on-one and give him that option route. There's not a soul, I think, in the league that can cover a guy like that. It's really hard to cover the slot anyway when you're in the middle of the field and there's no help on either side of you. He could be a go-to guy like that. I know a lot of people, including myself, thought that maybe he'd be this, hey, just send him deep. You know what I mean? But he can't just do that. He's got to have these intermediate routes and whatnot. So I just I don't care if you put him in different positions, but go to him a little bit more. Like, I would target him 5 times a game to start. Just to see.
If Diami is out, I bet that is part of the plan.
Yeah. Well, that's what's interesting in that answer, because I feel like we already had from week 1 to 2 them saying, yes, he's going to play more defense on there. So I don't know why all of a sudden it's different, especially if there is injuries, because there's no way if you're saying whatever the case may be, if you feel like he's wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, whatever the answer is for that, CB1, CB2, CB3, whatever you want to label it, when someone gets hurt, that changes automatically. And so if you're not, and to me, I feel like this was more avoidance of talking about Diami because they didn't want to. There wasn't really an answer when it came to that. The injury report wasn't out yet, and he just said, we don't really know yet. We'll see. So I'm like, maybe it was because Diami hasn't been talked about not playing, and as the week goes, when you're like, yes, he's not playing or he's out whatever amount of time, then you can start discussing if his role changes.
By the way, I think it is Tyson Campbell and Travis Hunter as far as the two best outside corners on this team, and then Jordan Lewis, obviously the best nickel corner on this team. I think Travis has moved ahead of Jarian Jones to this point. It could change. It could fluctuate. But to me, based off of watching over the first 3 games, that's what I've come away with.
I think Travis is the best bump and run corner we have. And Tyson and him, they're pretty close. Tyson's got more experience. But I think what he's shown is he can get up in that grill and he can run with those guys, even the big guys, like even the guys that are bigger and stronger than him. He's shown that he's got that toughness to stick with them. I want to see more of that. And to be quite, I think I've said a while ago, but quite honestly, I thought when they brought him in here, like, like, if he was going to be that corner, take Nico Collins. Just go take Nico and be man-to-man on him and take care of him. That's what I thought he was going to be, and then that's fantastic. Like, man, that's like Deion or Darryl Green or somebody like that can take away a part of the field and you don't have to worry about it because he's going to cover that guy. I think we're seeing more and more that he's capable. I don't think they're ready to do that yet because, he's still young in his career, but I wouldn't be surprised eventually that they're like, yo, you just take the best player. You're that good of a corner. And I think I've seen just a glimpse of it when he's up on that line of scrimmage, running bump and run or press or man. He's shown that he can hang with the big boys. So I think it's only going to get better.
All right. Speaking of the big boys.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
The big boys meeting the Frangie Show. Obviously, Hayes, you made the program earlier when I put in a song request for you, or at least a band request for you with Tom and the Dad Bods. Anything by Pearl Jam, I told him.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. All right. Oh, you guys have to have Pearl Jam.
We've done Better Man and we've done Jeremy. I've been, it's a little different this list, but we'll throw some stuff in.
I don't want to get you in trouble. Yeah. I'll love whatever you play.
It's gonna be good. You're gonna like it.
I will be happy regardless.
Macarena on your
Do you know? I'd like to request How Bizarre.
That won't happen.
But yeah, we'll fun Frangie show coming up, loaded Frangie show coming up. We'll have Brett Hastings joining us for Sports and Courts. Kevin Kaplan, the Jaguars team physician, will join us to talk some sports injuries. Lots obviously with the 49ers, so that'll be interesting. We'll ask him about DJ Lagway being in a boot, although Napier said he's fine to play next week against Texas.
Comical to think that DJ Lagway won't finish the season.
Yeah, it's a total myth. Apparently, it's a total myth to get more than one first down in a first half, too, if you're Billy Napier's offense.
Does he just carry the boot around with him?
Exactly. But yeah, so we'll have that. I had a chance to catch up with Anton Harrison in the locker room a little bit ago, so we'll play that as well.
Did you get any food takes from him?
I did not, no. Kept it all football. And what else? We've got something else. Sports and Courts, with Hastings, we've got Kaplan. State Farm College Football Report. So Gators, that's why I forgot, because it involves the Gators. Gators, Knowles, and Canes coming up.
Happy Knowles, happy Canes.
Yes.
Florida is
Sad
just wanting to know when Napier will be fired and who will replace him.
That's
All
right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Hayes.
All right.
All right.
Beauty.
It's a like I said earlier, it's such a sad thing that it's September and literally the season's over.
It's like that one, The Simpsons gif where he walks in the bar and then comes right back out of the bar. You're like, never mind, this isn't fun anymore. I've been there.
It's not. Yeah, we all have been there. I mean, as Jags fans, we've been there this time a year ago. We were there. So yeah. All right, no show tomorrow due to Jaguars programming. So everybody have a great Thursday. We'll back with you on Friday. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on Friday, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show comes up next.